Guilty of crime.
Well, happy Friday, everybody. What's up? I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back. Now, listen, I've restarted my computer, changed my settings. Hopefully, we have a nice, smooth stream today. All right. It's Friday, baby. And guess what, guys? I got to tell you, there's huge updates in the Jack and Lilly case, and I'm very surprised that everybody's not covering it. So many things have come out. There's new RCMP updates directly from the investigator that's leading it. There's a new interview of Daniel Martel. Malaya's been talking. Her friends have come forward. They made national missing persons day with the Sullivan children in Nova Scotia. Guys, there's so much going on in this case, and I'm so glad that I get to bring it to you because we need justice for Jack and Lily. So do me a favor, come on in, guys, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and get a membership if you can. Thank you, Cool and Chris, just gifted a Guilty of Crime membership. If you receive that membership and you're here, please do thank her. Thank you so much. All right, let me say hi to you lovely people. Deb's in the house. Tanya, how you doing? Cynthy's here. I see Cynth in the house. One Love, Connie, Wesley, prayers as always. I see Synth all over. Nature Walks, what's up? Good to see you. And Sadie's mama, always a pleasure. I know you're going to be crocheting today. You're going to want to listen to this episode. What's up, Kel? How you doing? Good to see you. Big hearts, big hugs to everybody that supports my channel. Guys, I just love you for it. And as usual, you never know what we're going to be giving out today. I just ordered a stack of books. So I'm going to be giving away books, not only personally, but we're going to be giving them away inside of the Foxy boxes as well. And you can't buy the books. You can't buy the Foxy boxes. Jamie Casey, good to see you, my friend. Mama Pearl, love you. Maggie, how you doing? And we got Ange, 2370 became a member. What is up? Thank you. And choo choo. Thank you, Cool and Chris, for starting us off with the Guilty of Crime membership. You guys buckle up, buckle in, because I got to tell you something. We've got a lot to go over today. There is so much new information that there was no way that I could just go off this weekend and not report on this case. You never know. There could be a big break in the case this weekend and the children's bodies could be found, or Daniel could be arrested and charged with something else. All right. So a lot of possibilities here. Thank you so much. My babies are my number ones. My babies are my number ones too. Welcome to the Crime Crew official. Good to see you. Shadow says, welcome to the new members. Knitting pretty blankets. Janet Rawling. You tried to buy my book last night. It wouldn't give me an option to buy it. Oh, no. I'm going to send you a link, Deb, because I think I really do think that you would I think that you would quite enjoy it. You have the perfect sense of humor for me. You and I jive, and our jokes are, we get our jokes, you know what I'm saying? We have some crude ones sometimes, but we also have a lot of heartfelt talks. And you know what, Deb, you get it. So I'm going to send you a link right now. I just lowered the price, guys. I lowered the price by $10. So I'm actually glad that you couldn't buy it, Deb, because now, guys, it's $19.99. It used to be $29.99 because I put a lot of work into my book. And I have a lot of artwork in my book. I spent a lot of time writing that personal book and the graphics for it. So, Deb, I just put this up in the chat. All right. There's my book right there. And now it's $10 cheaper. So if you want to pick one up, that would be totally awesome. The link's up there and it's also in chat. All right. I don't know. There's some people that may not know that I even have a book. So let me just show you quick. You know I will. Yes. Oh, I get you, and you're gonna laugh, girl. You are gonna spit out your coffee, and then you're gonna say, Chris, look at this real quick. And he's gonna blush. All right. I'm telling you, man. Not man. You know what I'm saying, Deb. You hear me. DJ, welcome to the Crime Crew. This man started his YouTube channel and he went live today, and I stopped by to support him. Go sub up to his channel. All right. Hey, DJ, sorry I missed your live, but when I went to watch you, it already aired. Well, you're a supporter. That's awesome. Glory Walker says, I taught myself through YouTube videos, and I'm a lefty and nobody could teach me. I knew. All right, guys, good to see everybody. There is my book. It's now $10 cheaper, and I'm also going to be giving away books. I ordered a stack for myself as well as for the Foxy boxes. Jade, good to see you. Thank you so much for becoming a member. It's my pleasure to have you, and all of us welcome you. So welcome, welcome. All right, are you guys ready? Get your drink, get your blanket, get your snacks. We're gonna be here for a while. There's a lot of new information, and I'm here for it because I've been covering the Jack and Lilly case since the beginning. I've been covering the Jack and Lilly case, and I have a huge playlist, guys. I have a a huge Jack and Lilly playlist that I will drop in chat in case you get bored this weekend and you want to go back and see what happened. I also have 1,700 other videos that you can watch through. And they're all in playlists. So if there's anything that you want to catch up when I'm not streaming this weekend, well, you guys can do just that. All right. So let's get into it because there's a lot, my friends, a lot. And I think we are getting closer. Law enforcement RCMP says they're confident in the case of these missing children that something is going to move forward and things are going to shift, my friends. So I ask you, is this now a criminal case? That makes a big deal. And I'm going to tell you, we get to hear from this piece of trash who can't stop talking. First, we're going to listen to him not stopping to talk, all right? And then we're going to break it down. But we also have so many other things. All right, so I don't think it's on my end, but if you can just refresh, let me pull some of my stuff down. I'll try to clear out as much as many tabs as I can. I totally restarted my computer. I lowered the res, so I hope we're good. All right. Jen Bug says, I just subbed to DJ. All right. All right. Hopefully, yes. And let's go to CrimeCon Vegas, baby, 2026. If you guys want to sponsor the Guilty of Crime trip, going to buy me a coffee. It's going to stay there until we go to Vegas for CrimeCon. All right. Good to see you guys. Thank you, Cint. Thank you, Tiff. Thank you. Anybody else that comes in chat. All the mods. Of course, it is a criminal case. Catherine, my friend, have you seen the updates in this case yet? You haven't, have you? Okay, well, I'm glad you're here. because it's actually not classified as a criminal case as of yet. And not only do I say that, Catherine, but this guy in his new interview, the things he says and the things he doesn't say, but one thing he does say is, this case should now be criminal. Guys, you guys are going to catch him with his pants down. And when you see his pants down, I think he's got a tiny little winky. He's got small man syndrome. Okay. So that's why he wears those tight shirts and the gray shirts and the same pants. He's trying to hide that little pinky winky stinky that he's got down there. And we're here for it. Chantel, the Canadian, what is up, my girl? Both of you, amazing. I brought together with all of you guys, and I agree. I'm here for it. I got Mr. DJ that I stumbled on in someone else's chat, and this guy, I'd love nothing more than to see him be happy and successful on his channel. All right, yeah, we got another Tinky Winky, a stinky Tinky Winky. All right, that's what I'm gonna say. What's up from Ireland? You're in the future. I'm Jen from Ireland. Welcome to the Crime Crew. Thank you for catching a live. All right, guys, y'all are ready to get into this. I know you are. Not the tic-tac mint. Oh, yeah, Joseph Morgan. You know that small man syndrome that I'm sure you don't have? All right. All right, let's take a look. Let's just get it. Let's just hop right into this because there's a lot. All right, let's start with this one. All right. And I'm going to put this up just for a second and tell you quickly that RCMP has repeatedly stated that the case remains classified under the Provincial Missing Persons Act. And as of right now, when I'm talking to you, it is not classified as a criminal case. However, RCMP also emphasizes that it's an active major crime investigation focused on determining what happened. So they've got a double missing person investigation and then a major crime and behavioral science unit. They're leading this. All right. It's indicating, all of that's indicating that it is a serious criminal level investigation, but they haven't told us that as of today. All right. And like I said, this is awesome because RCMP marks Missing Person Day with the Sullivan children. It's not awesome because of that. It's awesome because at least they're recognizing it. These children have been missing for 9 months and 4 days. Okay. They went missing on May 2nd, 2025, guys. All right. We've combed through documents. There's no public name suspects. Court filings show both Malaya. I've looked since the last time. The court filings actually do show Malaya and Daniel took polygraphs. And the way they worded it was the initial results indicated truthful answers. But I didn't see anything about them saying we're in the clear. Now, guys, as of January 2026, we saw that Daniel Martel was charged with unrelated, very serious offenses, right? It brought more attention to this case. And now RCMP has come out of the bushes and they're going to talk today. All right, so let's get into it. I got some reading to do. I've got lots of interviews. Let's get into it. Let's go, guys. I cannot wait. There's almost 200 people in chat. So hit that like button. It's free. I know people are having snowstorms or storms or what have you. So if it freezes up, don't worry. We'll get back to it. All right. So let's start on this. We got a big one today. All right. So that's awesome that they're recognizing the children on Nova Scotia RCMP mark Missing Persons Day with Sullivan children's disappearance. Right. And we've all seen the missing posters, $150,000 reward. Now, this was on February 3rd. All right. Today's the 6th. This was 3 days ago. This was updated, and Nova Scotia is now making or marking National Missing Persons Day with the disappearance of the two children. Let me hold on real quick. I'm going to play this really quick, and that way you can see what we're getting into, and I'll come back to the reading. This is going to encompass what we're talking about today because I can't really talk much. 1 second.
Photos of children with soft smiles,
All right, let's
frozen in time. Now, just memories.
You wonder every day where they are.
The mother of missing children, Jack and Lily Sullivan, Malaya Brooks Murray, has faced intense criticism online for staying quiet. But now, 9 months after the children disappeared, her inner circle is speaking out.
Her behavior to a lot of people may seem odd, but until you're in that situation, you really don't know how you would act.
Robinson says Brooks Murray hasn't been doing well. She's lost weight, taking it day by day and out of the public eye.
I guess
All right. I unmuted it. I swear. You got to love how the Canadians say a boot. I love it. I love it. Okay. Thank you for everything you do for us. Bless. Thank you. Prayers for Jack and Lily. And guys, Malaya's actually talking. She's saying something. I'll tell you what in a bit. Friends are around talking. RCMP's talking. Daniel has another interview, and it's much different now that we know what he's been arrested for. We know that he's actually a creepy, abusive, being charged with a sexual offense, not just by one person, right? There's another person. All right. So, Jade, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And you guys, if it starts to lag, I would say refresh it. Jay, did you see the video? Yes, I did. Listen, Chantel, you're in it for the long haul today because I've got all the new juicy details today. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. So what Chantel's talking about is encompassing this clip right here. Take a look.
if you know Malaya, that isn't out of the ordinary for her. That's just who she is. She was always quiet.
6-year-old Lily and 5-year-old Jack were reported missing from their home in rural Nova Scotia last May. It's a mystery that remains unsolved despite days of searches and an extensive investigation by RCMP Major Crimes. Brooks Murray's mother says the past 9 months have been torture. Cindy Murray didn't want to be interviewed on camera, but she told CBC the hardest part for her family is not knowing what happened.
Now, listen, it seems like RCMP has moved their ass just a bit faster now that Daniel has been arrested and we have more information about him, and law enforcement has something up their sleeve, and you'll see in a bit because also they're talking. No, yeah, Chantel, I dug up everything new today, and it's all here for you and me to go through. So don't apologize. I got you covered. That's what I do. Thank you, though.
It's just a nightmare. I can't describe it. It's mental torture to figure out.
So this is Malaya's mom, Cindy Murray. Doesn't want to show her face, guys, and Malaya's the same way. Everybody's talking except for her. She'll make a statement and they'll write it down. Janice, I'm going to have to agree with you.
Like, how come it's taking so long?
For a year and a half, Brooks Murray lived with her common law partner, Daniel Martel, in this home with Jack, Lily, and their baby daughter. As part of the investigation, police asked Brooks Murray and Martel about their relationship. Their statements are detailed in search warrant applications that were sought early on in the case. According to court documents, in the weeks before the children were reported missing, the couple had been fighting about money. An affidavit filed by RCMP to request a search warrant says Brooks Murray told police Martel would take her phone from her when she tried to call her mom, which would sometimes be physical and hurt. Martel told RCMP there was no physical violence. Robinson says the day.
And listen, since we're going to be listening to a brand new interview with not only Daniel, but Malaya's friends. And guys, there's multiple ones. Chantel, there's not just the one that you're talking about for 20 minutes. there's another one on top of that where they actually have the pink blanket out and they're talking about evidence. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Foxy, thank you for the gifted membership. If you received it, please say thank you. All right, let's keep going. Sorry, I had to feed the dogs. They started yelling at me. What's up, Midnight Lace? Good to see you. All right.
The day the children went missing was the first time she saw where the family had been living. She was shocked.
Just the condition of the house. I mean, she had left.
I'm not the only one that said that. I got my ass chewed out when I first started covering this case. Anyway, you see my United States flag behind. You see the U.S. flag. We have 222 people in chat. Say a prayer that RCMP is not joking when they say that this case is heating up. All right. And there's lots of people talking today, my friends. Lots of people. And I don't know if the arrest prompted it or what.
Because we weren't leaving her there.
On January 29th, Martel was charged with assault, sexual assault, and forcible confinement related to an adult complainant. He has not responded to requests for comment on the charges, but in early January, he sat down for an...
And this is a new interview that has not been released, and this is not the whole thing. We're just seeing a quick clip. We're going to watch the whole thing, and then we're going to watch it and break it down with Deception Detective because he's all over it. Angel of Truth, good to see you. Now it's hard to look at Daniel in the same way, even though I knew, in my opinion, he was lying and he was a bullshitter. Now we really know because we have the documentation to see what he's been charged with, and that's another person adding to the accusations. All right, Jay, guilty of crime. Today is my beautiful mother-in-law's birthday. Shout her out when you can, and I'll show her. I don't know mother-in-law's name, but happy birthday to Cint's mother-in-law. Let me know her name, and I'll try to do that later if she has a name. All right. What's up, MM Clark? My girl, good to see you. Melissa, twin mommies, how you doing? All right, let's go. We got the whole everything today.
Interview with CBC. Martel says RCMP took a blood sample from him in December, and he says there was a box checked on the consent form that said no criminal involvement.
Now, listen, the way the whole interview is laid out and the things he chooses to focus on, now you'll see even more how much of a lie and what a bullshitter. Yes, Marianne, good to see you. Allie Callie, how you doing? All right, we're gonna watch all of it.
I've known for, since the start that...
Oh, look at him. He's got some orange shoes on today and not the gray striped shirt. He's got something a little different. Again, this is dated January 6th, right? But it hadn't been released yet. Is the first time we're seeing it.
I'm 100% innocent, but to see it visually with my own eyes, it was a big thing.
Cute.
Cindy Murray says RCMP don't provide many details, but as time ticks on, it's harder to be patient.
I hope that they're checking every avenue.
And man, when I'm looking at the kids' pictures, I hate to be like this. And I don't want to be judgmental. None of us do. But when I'm looking at the pictures and I see the kids twirling, but I see what they're twirling on, look at the background. I was looking at the floor earlier and it was dirty. There was just ripped up pieces of stuff. I mean, there's a difference between being old and keeping up or just being dirty slobs. And what is this? Would they duct tape their counter on? Like, I'm so confused. Anyhow, those are the conditions that those children were living in.
And doing as much
Look at
as
that.
they possibly can.
The head of major crimes in Nova Scotia says it's not easy keeping his cards close to his chest, but they have to protect the event.
Oh, and today we have an interview from him as well. And he's going to talk about the case heating up. And again, guys, if I'm frozen, I think it might be your end. I promise you, I'm in California and it's like 60 something degrees. The weather's good. I have no idea. All right. I don't know. All right, let's keep going. If it's still freezing, then the mods will have to let me know. I don't know, my friends. I don't know. All right, let's go.
investigation.
As far as I'm concerned, it's not going to be a cold case. This is a case that needs to be solved, so we will pursue every avenue available to us to ascertain what happened with Jack and Lilly.
Ali Thompson, CBC News, Halifax.
Yeah, I have no idea why it's doing that. Again, it could be StreamYard, who knows?
It blows my mind.
All right, that's obviously not what we're watching, but hey, you know. All right, let me go back to this document that I did not get to finish, and then we're going to get into mother of missing children actually talks through her friends and all the updates. All right, so back to this one, guys. Listen, we've been covering this. I'm sure everybody here in chat knows the case well, right? They're saying they're fully committed to establishing circumstances of what happened to Jack and Lilly. They're pursuing every lead, applying every resource, and working tirelessly to move this forward. And you'll hear in a bit the head lead talk about this. All right, now listen, the redacted documents came out recently, and the things that were in it were the public and media have been scraping every inch of the case, hoping to understand more of what happened behind closed doors. Now we have a better deal. Now, near the end of 2025, several of those documents were released, detailing more information about what they've been chasing. So in October, Mounties agreed to release the information on the interviews that they conducted with the closest to the children and from witnesses' accounts. They heard a vehicle going back and forth hours before the pair disappeared. Now, many people said that wasn't true. It was a rumor. It's not a rumor, guys. I'm telling you, that night into the early morning when the children went disappearing, the neighbor clearly says that there was cars going in and out and they could hear it all night. All right. You freeze in and out. I don't know, man. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, guys, but I'm doing my best. Yeah, I have no idea. If I start messing with my camera right now, though, it might mess me up. Do you guys want me to try to... let's see. I can see if that one works better. I don't know if it's going to or not, but let's try that. Jay makes his girl's voice as loud as you can. Okay, let's keep going. I'm not even there yet. All right, listen. The documents says one of the residents, Brad Wong, told police on May 9th that in the early hours of May 2nd, he heard a loud vehicle coming and going from the family's home on Gairloch Road. Okay. Wong told police his house is at an elevated position from the Martells, so he can see above them. And he could also see vehicle lights over the treetops that night, says the police in the documents. Wong also said the vehicle left the address 3 or 4 times after midnight and into the early morning hours, according to the documents. So I hope you guys... Am I freezing still? Now I'm frozen again? I can't tell, guys. I'm doing the best I can here. Switch back? All right, let me switch back my camera. All right. That's the best I could do, guys, unless you want me to not do the show today. If you guys keep telling me it's frozen, I can't keep track of it. So how about this? If I'm really bad frozen, Synth, I see you there. Can you just text me? One of the mods, whoever's in here, shoot me a text and say, Jay, you're frozen, dummy. That way I don't keep seeing you guys in chat, because then I'm going to want to stop. Some people are saying I'm not frozen at all, and then others. So I don't think it's on my end. I don't know. What's up, Michael? Good to see you. Choo, choo. All right, let's go. Thank you. Thank you, Synth. I appreciate that. All right. Yeah, I don't know, but let's keep going. All right. So let me make sure my volume's good for you guys. So listen, guys, if that doesn't say something big to you, that there were cars or a car that was going in and out after midnight on the night that those two children disappeared, an anomaly of a case, I don't know what does give you evidence. Now, a week after they spoke to Wong, police say they spoke to Justin Smith, the other nearby resident, and police say Smith told them on May 17th he had spoken to Wong about the vehicle, and he also heard that same vehicles in the early hours of the morning on May 2nd. I mean, you guys got to understand this now. If we're talking about the Sebastian Rogers case, right? If we're talking about Sebastian Rogers right now, and you just found out that on that night neighbors say they saw Chris and Katie's truck going back and forth, would you really would you think that that was a huge part of it? All right, I think so. What's up, Nina? Good to see you, my friend. Thank you, bestie. All right, let's keep going. Then this is a new computer too, so I'm doing my best. Okay, so in those unsealed documents, guys, it's no longer a secret. Two neighbors, same thing, saw the same thing that night they went missing. And when the unsealed documents came, we found out about the relationship, really what happened between Martell and Brooks Murray. All right, we know it includes excerpts from police interviews and unproven allegations from Malaya. They were filed to support applications for search warrants, revealing that on May 9th, Malaya was specifically asked if the children's stepfather, Martell, was physically abusive. Malaya said he would try to block her, hold her down, and he once pushed her. The documents say she said that he would also take her phone from her when she tried to call her mom, which would sometimes be physical and hurt. Okay. On January 29th, he was charged with assault, forcible confinement, and sexual assault of an adult victim that has not been named yet. People are speculating that it actually might be Malaya, but we're going to have to see about that. Now we're going to get to Malaya, the missing mother that doesn't seem to be around to look for her children at all. All right. Come on in, guys. Jay, it's not you. It's YouTube. It has been happening. All creators. Okay. Yeah, it happened to me this week too. And luckily, it didn't happen on my video where there was 4,500 people. Thank God. Brian Sutherland, welcome to the crime crew. Moses, I'm taking a break from true crime. It's getting too heavy. It's all about family, football, and learning Bad Bunny song. There you go, girl. You do that. You do that. Me too. I always take a break on the weekends from true crime. All right. And if I miss anything, I didn't miss this. Choo choo. Thank you. I will come back to it. I promise. All right. Way to find the positive, baby. Always. Always, always. All right. Now listen. Mother of missing Nova Scotia children taking it day by day, says her loved ones. We're going to hear all about it. Now, this was 2 days ago on February 4th. Malaya Brooks Murray largely stayed out of the public eye. And guys, we're going to go through all of this. This article is crazy, and there's lots of videos with it. So we just saw video number 1 that summed up everything. And now I'm going to tell you the rest about her. And then we're going to see everything today. 9 months and 4 days after Jack and Lilly vanished without a trace in rural Nova Scotia, the silence surrounding Malaya has been broken under the glare of intense public scrutiny. Right? Now listen, in an exclusive interview with CBC News, which we're going to watch after this, members of Malaya Brooks' family and her inner circle are sharing new details about her life at the time of the disappearance and how the family is coping. Right? So we're getting to that today. They say frustration comes to mind, especially when you sit there and you kind of feel like your hands are tied and there's not much you can do. All right. Angeline Maloney. Again, we're going to see all this. So you're not going to miss anything. She heavily been criticized in the comments on social media for remaining silent by us armchair sleuths. All right. But Cheryl Robinson, a close family friend, said if you knew Malaya personally, her silence would not be surprising. That's being said, she was always quiet. She was never a confrontational person, and she's very shy. She says, I know her behavior to a lot of people may seem odd and may seem different, and it may not be what a lot of people would do if their kids were missing, but until you're in the situation, you don't know how you would act. So today we're focusing on how she's acting, not only that, but how Daniel's acting and how we perceive the case and what law enforcement says about the updates. All right. So grandmother sheds light on this before the disappearance. Let's just check this out real quick. This is the only one I can find here. So we're going to play it from this page.
They were very sweet kids. Lily's laughter, she was so exciting.
And I still don't like how they're referring to them in the past tense already. All right. I don't like that at all. Guys, come on in. Hit that like button, subscribe, all the stuff. All right. My face is still freezing. Okay. They thought we were going to forget about the kids. Yeah, B12, listen, RCMP says they're working extra hard. You're going to hear that in a bit. All right. And again, if I'm really frozen, then I'm going to senses stop. No, I gotta share this stuff. I'm not sure what you're saying. I have to share this stuff, you guys. It's just an intermittent thing. So if it is like completely messed up, let me know. But I've got too many messages telling me that I'm frozen. All right. So let's try to. It's totally no. It's not me though. I'm telling you, it's StreamYard and YouTube. But let's keep going, right? What we're looking for are Jack and Lily, right?
To be around. She was full of life.
Cute.
Jack, he would.
And I just don't like that. What do you mean? It's February 4th on the date, and today is what, the 6th? And she's talking about them in the very, very, very past tense, like they're already dead, which they've been gone for 9 months and 4 days. Statistically, they are.
Love his dinosaurs, and he loved his little zoo animals, and he would play with those for a long time. And he would come like to the barn, and he loved to see the horses. And yeah, they had a lot of fun. They were fun kids.
What was Lily like?
Very girly.
That's so
She
weird.
loved to scream. She got excited easily. Loved her dolls. She was just very outgoing and cutest little thing. Jack loves his dinosaurs. Loved to play with his toys. Jack was more quieter. He was on the quieter sides, but he loved to play with his sister. He'd get annoyed with his sister when she took his stuff, but they got along pretty good for the most part. Happy kids. Very happy kids. Always excited. They were always clean. They loved their mom, and they loved each other.
Why is everybody talking about them in the past? I wonder if Malaya is referring to them in the past constantly. Again, we're going to hear lots of different relatives talking, but it drives me crazy because what is it that they know?
They fought, but they loved each other.
I came over with some food one day, and Lily's a food hound. Like, she'd sit there and eat all day if you let her. And I just came up and sat at the table, and she just walked up to the table. She looked shy, but like she wanted to like come up still, and she just kind of like stood there and like stared at me. And Malaya was just like, she wants your food. And I was like, oh.
And guys, they've got a lot of footage on these friends and family members of her inner circle. So yes, hit that like button. Brian, I like your attitude. All right, I like it. Love their dolls. Loved. Yes, loved. They said it the whole time like they were already dead and gone, and we know that. All right. They absolutely loved each other. I agree. In my opinion, I think they did.
Okay. And I remember they always like wanted to be held by Malaya as well.
Both very close with her.
Yes, very close with her.
I
love
you.
Do you have a favorite memory that you think of?
But I mean, look at her demeanor here and then any other time that we've ever seen her. It's a huge, I think so. I mean, that's harsh to say. rebel princess, but yeah, I do believe they're dead at this point. And yeah, Kitty Hawk, it's like how Katie Proudfoot got a memorial tattoo in memory of Sebastian. Wait, Sebastian's not dead, is he? Wait, what? Yeah, they're speaking in memories or reminiscing. I know, right? Adorable. Malaya will talk when she's safe from Daniel. He's a creep and strange. Well, she should be talking now. Maybe she can get him locked up. But guys, she might have gotten him arrested. That might be her.
Going to the wildlife park, baking with Lily. She loved to bake because she liked to lick the frosting off the spoon.
Of course.
Just doing a lot of outdoor stuff with them, taking them places.
We went to the beach a lot. They liked the water. They played with the sand and we would make little sand castles with their baskets, and we had a Easter egg hunt at my place. And they were running around laughing, and I miss them calling me Nene, and we'd color.
That's probably the cleanest I've seen the floor, but pay attention how everybody talks. And it's definitely heartbreaking. And guys, this is a complete anomaly. This just doesn't happen where two children disappear and we don't see them again. Jay, I don't think MBM is thinking they dead, as she has Christmas presents and birthday presents waiting for them allegedly. Why are they talking? Malaya Brooks doesn't think that. That's interesting though. I wonder if she's doing that on purpose. We don't know her. What's up, David? Good to see you. I've seen dozens of photographs. I do not believe for 1 second that either one. That's what I'm saying, Kitty Hug. I'm not saying they didn't have autism, but give me the proof that they do. And what difference does that make? How did it affect their lives? All right. Yes, he's all about images. Regal, suave.
And they play on their little tablets. I miss everything.
All right. Off of this and back. All right. There's a lot of information today. Okay. So that was the grandma. Cindy Murray talked about them again. Were full of life. All right. They should still be full of life. Now, you guys know the deal. May 2nd, Malaya calls 911 to report Lily 6 and Jack then 4 had gone missing. An extensive grid search of 8.5 square kilometers, mostly thick woods, involving 1,700 crew members and over 12,000 hours, turned up little evidence, so they say, apart from Lily's pink blanket hanging in the tree and a child-sized boot on the nearby trail. All right. Cindy Murray, Brooks Murray's mom, says the past 9 months have been absolute torture. All right. That's Cindy Murray. Malaya's not talking much. Now, Murray says that her grandchildren, about a month before they went missing, when they came to her house for an egg hunt, that's what she was talking about the last time she saw them. Right. We heard that. They made Easter dinner and they played and they laughed. She misses them calling Nene. We heard all that. All right. 2 kids go missing without a trace. Doesn't make sense to me, said Murray. And we know that. Paused herself to compose herself. And here's this 20-minute long interview, but we're going to go over that after we hear more updates. Now, I don't even need to continue reading all that. What we're going to do first is we're going to get into this interview first, and then we're going to hear the updates. All right. Those babies are absolutely gone. They've been gone for 9 months and 4 days. Now, I'm sure they did have autism, but I ask time and time again, when a child goes missing, why is that the first thing that they say? All right. And it's hard to prove that if you don't have the proof, if you're just saying that. What's up? Oh, yeah, you're late, but it's okay. You're right on time. Okay, this is the new interview with Daniel, and I don't know if it's going to play better from this or from this. Was I freezing a minute ago? I was, when I touched the... All right, hold on. Let me do this then. I think I'll play it from YouTube. You'll get a better version of it. All right, we're going to listen. This is a new interview that was just released, and now we know Daniel. We know him a little bit more about him. with the sexual assault arrest and the other charges. All right. So here it is. Daniel Martell. This is the new interview they just released. And pay attention here. Let me try to roll this back a little bit. This interview was conducted with him on January 6th, but guys, it hadn't been released yet. This is not the same interview that you might think. All right. Again, he has not responded about the charges or anything. And now we're going to pay attention to what he actually is saying here. And then we'll break it down. RCMP has indicated the children are no longer with us. Oh, we're getting to that, Lisa. We are getting to that. We're doing all of it today. Pay attention what he talks about, how he talks about, because we will go back and break this down. Deception Detective did a fantastic job just a day ago. I was like, I didn't even know there was new information, but I knew there was new information only because DD came out with it. All right, let's go.
Okay, Daniel. So what's the latest with this case?
I think we're gonna have to dive into some questions so I can, really try to answer that, because I mean, there's so much. But what I can say is my blood was taken or drawn, and they got a few drops in my blood for that, check my DNA, because my DNA is obviously going to be on the blanket.
But remember, we're going to totally break this down. Listen to what he's saying. She didn't prompt him to go technical and say, well, I opened the Band-Aid wrapper and then I threw the wrapper out. Oh, but I dropped it and I walked it to the trash. And when I came back, there was a little drop of blood. So I wiped that up. Oh, yeah, wait, Jack and Lilly? Is that what I'm talking about? No, they just released this one, Finnegan. It is an old interview that was just released. All right. Thank you. I waited for you. I saw DD's update, but I wanted to. Oh, that's awesome. All right. So you saw that they just rebranded it and put it out. He has not talked since he's been arrested. Okay.
I can't really disclose, and
it's up to you guys if you want. I can just play the Deception Detective video instead if you don't want to watch the whole thing. So Tracy Smith says, I love your heart and I love your work. And thank you. Appreciate you so very much and to help and support the channel. If your screen is black, then it's whack. That's what I say. All right, let's do that then. I don't know if it's trolls right now that are complaining or it's a real complaint, but we have a long episode today. So why don't we just go ahead and jump right to he's finally cooked, right? The original one was released 2 days ago and it's 14 minutes and the Deception Detective one is 8 minutes. All right, so let's just get into that.
On January 29th, Martell was charged with assault, sexual assault, and forcible confinement. He has not responded to requests for comment on the charges, but
I was actually going to say something about that. He always does that with his shirt. Like my shirts drive me nuts. I like having V-necks. But he's not wearing V-necks, and it's like he just keeps shifting his shirt with that little tiny gold chain that he wears with this pinky winky. All right, he cannot disclose the truth. Well, listen to the truth that he's trying to sell us. Absolutely, he's like Chris Watts, some smug smirk. All right, let's keep going. Let's break this down.
Early January, he sat down for an interview with CBC. Martell said,
do you mind if I take my jacket off so you can see my arms that are this big? He's a bullshitter. He's a liar, and I have no sympathy for him any longer, in my opinion. I had a little bit of hope that there was a possibility he was telling partial truth, but now that we know what he's been charged with and the allegations, I really do have decided that I think an arrest is coming for him soon.
Says RCMP took a blood sample from him in December. And he says there was a box checked on the consent form that said no criminal involvement.
I've known for, since the start that I'm 100% innocent.
Yes, Canadian police have finally arrested Daniel Martel, the stepdad of missing Nova Scotian tots, Lilly and Jack Sullivan. And while none of the charges relate directly to the disappearance just yet, I think that's going to change really soon, especially if this new CBC interview is anything to go by. So in today's video, let's watch it together and count all the red flags. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation.
And we love you for that, DD. And not only that, you're a lot of our audience's eye candy. So let's get to it. So many things today to get to. My God, I really am truly surprised that there's not every other channel streaming this case right now with as much that they released.
Into this new interview. On January 15, 2026, unsealed court documents revealed that Malaya Brooks Murray, the mother of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, had accused Daniel Martel of physical abuse. The very next day, Daniel gave an interview to Global News denying the claims, which we covered in my last video in this series. And just 10 days after that interview on January 26th, Daniel was arrested for physically abusing an adult. In other words, the interview we're about to watch here was recorded just weeks before Daniel's arrest, but it's only just now been released.
Okay, so you hear that? So I guess we did have trolls in chat, right? I never seen that person come in and say, that's an old video. That's like me hopping onto your channel saying something rude to you. It is an old video. It was pre-recorded, but it was just released. So there's that. All right. What's up, MM Clar? Oh, and he accidentally says narratives and switches it real quick to the theories. Yes, and we're only listening to part of what DD breaks down. It's only like half of the video because, well, somebody came on and said, that's an old video. Well, it is, but they hadn't released it yet.
Let's start watching.
Okay, Daniel. So what's the latest with this case?
I think we're going to have to dive into some questions so I can, really try to answer that because, there's so much. But what I can say is,
it's like he never even stopped. But I got to tell you, if I was to pull out my deception deck or we were watching Jen Soto, he starts off with this. I don't know what I can say, but this is what I want to say. I mean, he's already trying to control the narrative, control the questions. All right, let's go.
My blood was taken or drawn, and they got a few drops in my blood for that, check my DNA, because my DNA is obviously going to be on the blanket.
How did that go when they took your sample? Did they take you into the station?
Yeah, it was done at the station. And
Hey, listen to him. He's trying to avoid the hard questions, and definitely there's some leakage you're going to see throughout this, but he's avoiding the real hard questions by giving unwanted details. Now, guys, it's a huge indicator that someone's lying when they over explain themselves. Okay. So if you have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a son, a daughter, anybody, and you ask them, didn't you wear that red shirt yesterday? And they go off on this tangent and over explain, they're usually lying. All right. And yeah, we can say that. We can say a narcissist. Let's listen to what he chooses to talk about. He has the platform. We have an interview. Please bring Jack and Lily home if you're out there, whatever, right? We know the drill. Just like Nancy Guthrie, the way the family, I think FBI wrote that, but he's not saying anything. He's just talking. He's giving over amount of details.
Investigator did it. They have an applicator, which, they
I know.
hit the end of your finger with it, just like you were testing for your blood sugar. Just, pinch the end of your finger, and I had to squeeze for 20 minutes to get some blood out. But after we get the 4 drops out, it goes onto a little pad.
I got the 4 drops out and it went on a pad, and then my ass itched and I scratched my ass crack, but then I'm like, oh wait, now I need to wash my hand. But then I got hot, so I adjusted my shirt and my chain. I had to fix that. Oh, and I went to get a haircut, but they were closed. Okay.
And it's put in a envelope and then plastic bag and then sealed up for evidence.
The journalist gave Daniel the opportunity to talk about anything. All she said is, what's the latest? And what did he talk about? Well, he didn't talk about the $150,000 reward for tips about Lilly and Jack. He didn't talk about what searchers discovered right by his house just days before this interview was done, nor did he talk about how suspicious it is that Malaya, the kid's own mother, disappeared the day after she reported them missing, and her version of events contradicts his. Out of all the things he could have talked about, and believe me, I know there are plenty. This is my 36th video about this case. He decided to talk about how good he was about.
And I wanted to match you on that, DD, because I probably made a good 25, 30 videos as well. So there you go, Mr. Hot Pants. All right.
Voluntarily giving blood, to match up to the blanket, which A, is not the priority I would expect of the stepfather of missing children, because I would expect him to be focused on getting help finding the kids rather than proving his own innocence.
Nope.
And B, makes me really curious about that blanket. Remember, when people spontaneously bring something up, it usually means that they're sensitive about it. And speaking of sensitivity, I think you're about to see why the RCMP has been so critical of people like me and other armchair detectives, because
Now, after this, we're not going to hear from just us armchair detectives. We're going to actually hear from RCMP that says things are heating up and they're confident about the case. All right. What the hell procedure is he talking about? He watches too many cartoons. I love you guys. Happy Friday. Are you over there drooling over Mr. Deception Detective Girl? Thank you, Corbin. I appreciate that. Yeah, lots of details, except no detail about an important issue. Well, what about those cars that went in and out late that night that two neighbors heard? Was that your car? Or was it an ATV that you took out there and then you washed it in the middle of the night, bro? Look at how wide his legs are open. He's like, I'm a man.
if what Daniel says in this next part is true, investigators have made some massive mistakes.
Do you know of anyone else who had their sample taken?
No. I was never disclosed any of that. Nor do I.
And listen how he tries to talk as well. He doesn't even have, his vocabulary is very limited, but it's like he repeats what law enforcement tell him during the interviews.
Ask because I know I would not get an answer in return.
Right. You've been asking questions.
Yeah, I ask a lot of questions. Sometimes they can't answer.
And was that voluntary, or did they?
He thinks they're buddies, so that's a good thing right now. Now, again, this was before he was arrested, but it had not been released yet. All of a sudden, people, he doesn't want to be on camera and he doesn't want to respond anymore. He doesn't want to tell his side. All of a sudden, he's staying quiet. Why?
That was 100% voluntary. No, they never have to get a warrant to do anything. I'm always cooperative. Just like in the past, I keep asking them, do you want my phone? Do you want me to do more polygraphs? Like I'm open to everything. And I always tell them that. They said, Daniel, no, we don't need your phone. Daniel, no, it's not necessary to do any more polygraphs. So at this point, I'm very cooperative, you know. And when they get up the paper for consent on my DNA, you know, they fill in the paper, you know, May 2nd, missing persons case for Jack and Lily. And then they go through it. And then there's the box.
I mean, listen, guys, are you hearing any kind of information in here other than like Nessus is a psychopath and play with an idiot mother? What is he saying to us here? Is it really that important that he gives us a play-by-play? Or is he just avoiding the questions that are hard? Because the way he answers hard questions is he goes around them and then he deflects every time.
Check for criminal involvement, no criminal involvement. And they check the box for no criminal involvement. And I put my signature on it, and there was my consent.
How did you feel when you saw that box was checked?
Very happy.
First of all, if you're actually innocent, the police thinking you're innocent isn't some sort of...
He was very happy. I would never say, I'm very happy that I passed the test. I'd say, yeah, well, I knew I passed the test because I didn't do anything. We're looking for the kids, right? Yes. Amen. All right, let's listen to what he said.
Big win worth celebrating. It's the bare minimum. But more importantly, if I heard correctly, Daniel said the police rejected his offer to search his phone. And if that's true, that's definitely something they should be sensitive about. Although there is a silver lining, as I suggested in the intro. Now that they have him arrested on criminal charges, they can and definitely should search his phone. Now, to be fair to the RCMP, Daniel might have meant that they simply turned down a second search of his phone, kind of like them rejecting his offer to do another polygraph. But frankly, I'm not so sure. The RCMP may literally have not searched Daniel Martel's phone, even though he offered to let them do so.
And we're going to listen and update what they're actually doing, but it does say that they're going and they're re-interviewing the same people that they already interviewed before. All right. So I think that part of the arrest was strategic in the way that they're building their case for Jack and Lily, because it technically is not classified as a criminal, right? A criminal case at all. And Daniel in the interview says this should absolutely be a criminal case now, right? Oh.
So, and the reason I say that is it wouldn't even be their biggest blunder. It wouldn't even be the biggest blunder that Daniel brings up in this interview. Listen to what Daniel says in this next part about the polygraph test they administered to him, the thing he constantly points to prove his innocence. This is unbelievable. Listen to this.
So it's your understanding you believe that RCMP do not consider you a suspect?
I'd say 100% I'm not considered a suspect at this point.
Why is that?
I mean, from that box being checked. But we can also go back to when I had my polygraph exam.
I mean, what did he just say right now? I know Deception Detective's breaking it down, but she asked it a loaded question, just straight up. And are you listening to what he's saying? Yeah, they don't need the actual phone to check his phone, but they do have to have search warrants in place. And it's much easier if he just hands over the phone and gives the code. Just saying. All right. We're going to be here for a while. Buckle up, buckle in, hit that like button.
When we went over the questions beforehand, all the questions were on death, right? So
Yes.
they concluded that by the end of it, I was truthful with all my questions or all my answers. So I didn't have anything to do with the murder of Lilly and Jack. And there was no.
And the way he said that, he said it real quickly and he mumbled it. I didn't have anything to do with the murder of Lilly and Jack. I mean, so maybe you didn't. Did you just dispose of their bodies? Did an accident happen? Did they get into your D-rugs and they OD'd? I'm going to listen to that one more time, him say that. How he kind of skips it over. And again, he could be not lying right here, saying that he didn't have anything to do with the murder of them. Listen.
But we can also go back to when I had my polygraph exam. When we went over the questions beforehand, all the questions were on death, right? So they concluded that by the end of it, I was truthful with all my questions or all my answers. So I didn't have anything to do with the murder of Lilly and Jack. And there was no questions on the disappearance or abduction or kidnapping or anything of that nature. So that leaves me with, I didn't murder the kids. I have nothing to do with the disappearance because they did not ask any questions on that.
And so you mentioned that in the polygraph, they didn't ask you about the disappearance and whether you had anything to do with it. But I'm going to ask, did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lilly?
Besides Daniel referring to the murder of Lilly and Jack with the definite article, implying he thinks it's a real thing that actually happened, what jumped out to me here, obviously, was the fact that the polygrapher never asked him about anything besides murdering the kids. In other words,
I know that is interesting. And he's going to break that down. That doesn't make any sense why they didn't say that. But listen, that just means that there's a possibility that they did OD or there was some abuse that happened. And how did both of them, how can you accidentally kill two kids? I think he's just answering it in a way to get around it. And that's how we passed the polygraph test. But law enforcement is going to give us an update right after this. Rico Suave. No, we didn't find the kids. There's an update in the case, and they say they're getting very confident about the case and how it's shaping up. So, but no, we have not found Jack and Lilly.
He was only questioned about one of the least likely scenarios, right down there with stranger kidnapping, instead of the most likely scenario, the parents being responsible. And even though I don't think much of polygraphs, I've spoken about it in other videos in this series, that's arguably an even bigger blunder than not searching his phone when he offered it to them on a silver platter. Now that Daniel's finally been arrested, I hope they take a moment to reflect and actually do some investigating, like searching his phone and actually interrogating him. In the meantime, we'll keep investigating right here. And by the way, we're only halfway through this interview, so if you want to continue, let me know by liking, commenting, and sharing. Until next time, stay true.
Oh, I even like his music, my guy. All right, so we're actually going to go back really quickly to this document so you can see what's next. We're just moving down our list, right? Oh, this is the wrong one. It's the mother of. Let me just pull that down. And what's up, Carly? It's good to see you here, girl. All right, so our RCMP say they're confident in this investigation. All right, 9 minutes on February 4th. I'm going to bring that back up. Rob McCamon says he's confident in the work the Major Crimes Unit has done to date on the case of missing Nova Scotia children Jack and Lily, who disappeared 9 months ago and 4 days. All right. And again, the abuse we see, the abuse that came out and Daniel's arrest, we still don't know who that's from. People are speculating. So now we're going to listen to what RCMP has to update. And then we got the friends. There's so much today, guys. I hope it's working for you.
With hard work and the work we're doing and the information we got.
Hold on.
I believe that with hard work and the work we're doing and the information we got, we will find out what happened with Jack and Lilly.
Staff Sergeant McCamon, with the case of Jack and Lilly, what's the latest?
We continue to gather information and work any direction that there's more information to gather, review that and look for more opportunities. We continue to take in tips from the public and to review and move forward.
Is this case criminal?
Can you guys not hear that? Because I feel like he's talking really low, and I'm wondering if I play it from the other stream, if you can hear it. Is it super low? Daniel was arrested recently, unrelated to Jack and Lily, but RCMP is giving an update. I need to know if it's if the sound's too low. I'm playing it from YouTube, and let me know. I'm gonna play it, and if I have to switch interviews, I'll go back to the news document.
Right now, we're gathering all the information. Once we have all the information necessary, we'll make decisions on any criminality that may be relevant to the case.
Are you treating this as criminal?
Again, we gather all of our information in any of these situations to a judicial standard.
All right, 1 second then. Let me see if this is better. This one's way better. Let me pull this down. I appreciate you guys for letting me know. All of this stuff just came out, so I had no idea what we had. And then the storms, all right?
The work we're doing and the information we gather, we will find out what happened.
January 13th.
Staff Sergeant McCamon, with the case of Jack and Lilly, what's the latest?
We continue to gather information and work any direction that there's more information to gather, review that and look for more opportunities. We continue to take in tips from the public and to review and move forward.
Is this case criminal?
Right now, we're gathering all the information. Once we have all the information necessary, we'll make decisions on any criminality that may be relevant to the case.
Are you treating this as criminal?
Again, we gather all of our information in any of these situations to a judicial standard in case there is information that identifies criminality. And that is part of our job, is to gather all the information so that we can make good decisions with it.
Can you explain how that works under the Missing Persons Act?
Yeah.
Well, basically, the Missing Persons Act gives us the ability to get judicial authorization to pursue different, more private information that we can then gather to review for any tips or leads, directions to go to find more information.
The children's stepfather, Daniel Martel, has also indicated that recently his DNA sample was taken. Why now?
Because it was the appropriate time, or we felt it was time to collect that information, of course. Sometimes DNA doesn't necessarily.
Now, listen, they went missing May 2nd, 2025, guys. All right. We have almost 300 people in here and only 160 likes. Come on, it's free to hit that like button. And yes, Daniel was arrested January 2026. We covered that a few days ago. Yeah, I can't do anything about the interview. I can either put this one or the other one. All right. And this was him when he was arrested, the stepfather of what he calls a stepfather. Many people don't believe that he was a good stepfather at all, was charged with sexual assault and holding someone by confinement, etc. All right. All right, let's continue. For those of you that didn't know or haven't seen this.
Not because anybody's a suspect, but to maybe we may find DNA in places where we expect it to be found, and we need to be able to eliminate people. So it's something that we do, especially in missing persons cases, that to collect that information, make sure it's safeguarded.
Are any of the children's family members considered suspects in this case?
I wouldn't say anybody's a suspect. Again, we continue to gather
I wouldn't say anybody's a suspect. Something's going down.
Information and whatever evidence that we are able to find, and we'll make our decisions based on that. But I'm not in a position to really comment on suspects or anything like that at this time.
Do you have suspects?
Again, we're working the investigation. I can't comment in detail on where we're going because I have to maintain any integrity of the work we're doing. Anybody in the public who has information that can help us with this are asked to please engage with us and pass that information along so that we can work with it.
What do you think happened here?
Again, I'm not going to comment on what I think. As a professional investigator, we have to base our direction on evidence and information. So I'm not here to comment on my thoughts, and I'll allow the information we gather to make those decisions.
From the beginning, RCMP has maintained that this was not an abduction. The families believe that it could have been an abduction. Do you think that that's a possibility here?
Well, if that were something that took place, we will gather the information and we'll pursue that, and we will pursue any charges related to anything like that took place. However, again, we don't have any direct evidence of an abduction or anything like that at this time.
So you're not pursuing the investigative avenue of an
Again,
abduction?
we will look in all avenues of investigation. I'm just, that's not evidence or information that we have directly at this time.
Why not?
Oh, there could.
He's like, I don't know. I can't even hear myself talking. Yet now Moose, I don't think that he held her hostage or captive. I think there may have been a time or two when they fought. Maybe he held her, didn't let her leave, but he did that to someone. And it's in the charging documents what he did. And it's serious charges. For each charge, one of them's 10 years, another one's 5, and then another one's 10. I counted 25 years that he's facing. All right. What's up? You see me? He blew a fuse. All right. This guy doesn't say much.
A number of reasons for that. We may not have found that information yet. There could be a member of the public out there that has a key piece of knowledge that we haven't managed to bring forward yet. There could be a number of reasons for that. And the other one being they may not have been an abduction. So there may not be evidence out there to gather. Again, that's why we have to let the information we gather dictate our decisions and direction.
The families say that on May 2nd, they were told by an RCMP member on scene that an Amber Alert would be issued, and that did not happen. Why not?
I can't comment on the commentary that may have happened between a member and the family at the scene. But when it comes to the Amber Alert, the criteria for an Amber Alert wasn't met. We didn't have the necessary pre-qualifiers to issue an Amber Alert. However, we did issue vulnerable persons alerts related to the disappearance of Jack and Lilly, and that was the appropriate kind of direction with the information we had at the time.
Looking back.
Yeah, I've actually got another interview that you probably didn't know existed. And there's a possibility that that's the 9-minute video where they bring out a piece of clothing, etc. He wants to get enough to prosecute, then he'll talk. Yeah, it's like he's not saying anything. All right. Who do the clothes belong to? I don't know. Let's look at that. Let's finish this. We're halfway through it.
Is that the right call?
Yeah.
Have mistakes been made in the handling of this case?
I'm very confident in the work that the RCMP's done on this case, from the initial response that was within really minutes, and people on the ground searching property within a couple of hours, and the continued investigative effort by the investigators. I'm very confident in the work we've done. No, I don't believe we made any huge mistakes, and we continue to put effort in to try and resolve what's happened with Jack and Lilly. I'm confident in the work the RCMP's put into this file.
What's taking so long?
Well, the sheer volume of information that's come in is a big part. And, investigations like this take time. We've had over 8,000 videos that we've had to review and go through. We've had over 1,000 tips from the public, and each one of those tips have to be reviewed in detail and steps taken to ascertain.
It almost bothers me how I like this guy, and I guess I gotta trust him when he's saying it's not going to be a cold case, right? And they did National Missing Children's Day for Jack and Lilly, but I feel like nobody has an urgency, and it just could be the way they work there. But I do have 2 videos after this that one of them I know you didn't see. The friends speak about the disappearance and what Malaya is saying. And then there's a whole other video where the friends describe her before the disappearance. So they're trying to deflect from Malaya. In my opinion, they're trying to tell us that she didn't have anything to do with it. And it was Daniel. That was the abusive one. We know that. But what about Malaya?
The veracity or whether they're accurate or not. And that all takes time, and you have to do it thoroughly, and you have to document it properly. So large investigations, they take a lot of time to do, and we have to take these steps and make sure we get our everything in a row properly to move forward.
At this point, do you think those children are still in the woods?
We've done an extensive ground search using all technology that can be available to us, including drones and penetrating radar for the ground. We've had human remains detection dogs out there, and our ground search and rescue volunteers covered extensively the area around where the children were missing. So I think the chance.
So what you're saying is no, there's no way 9 months and 4 days later, guys, with the extensive ground search and the drones, that they didn't find bodies or children or remnants. And I'm not even so sure that those items weren't planted by Daniel himself or whoever was going back and forth in cars or vehicles that night.
Are low. However, there's always that possibility that they may be in an area that just we haven't been able to find them. It does happen. It's happened. So I would say that the chances are still, there is a slight potential they're still in the woods, but we're following up on every lead we can to try and ascertain that.
So if they're not in the woods, where could they be?
Well, again, that's part of that is the main goal of what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Find out what happened with Jack and Lilly.
The court documents suggest that RCMP are using technology-based techniques. What does that mean?
Basically, we're looking at whatever technology is out there to assist us with our work, whether that be during the search phase with the drones and the side scanning, lidar, radar, or whether that's through the use of different analysis products or other tech options.
And just to give you guys an idea of how slow they move, this arrest that happened with Daniel recently was from 2024. All right. They arrested him, what, a week or two ago? It was an old crime that was committed. So it's like, exactly, they can't prove anything they have. And he's not even saying anything. It's like, what are you saying? There's nothing. But now that we know that Daniel's explosive, we can look further at this. And I'm going to show you what I mean between the two videos. With the first video, we've got the friends pulling out clothing and speaking about the disappearance. They say much more than he does, I'll tell you that.
Whether it be the use of video review programs that do things more efficiently, which we have done. You know, there's just looking at different ways to do our jobs more efficiently and to gather the most evidence possible.
In the early hours of May 2nd, we know from the court documents that 2 people in the area heard a vehicle coming and going.
Okay, so this is a key point. It has to be a key point in this case because Jack and Lilly were gone, according to Daniel Malaya, sometime around 8:30 or 9. Nothing's out there. We heard the people on the property. We heard Daniel saying nobody goes out there like that. They didn't have a party. But why aren't they asking about the cars going in and out? I've never even heard anybody confirm that until recently, and and this guy talk about it.
What can you tell me about that? Is that substantial evidence here?
We have followed up on all those areas, and you know, we're confident in the information we've gathered, but I don't really have any direct comment about that situation.
How could you not have a direct comment about that situation? That's directly related. It has to be directly related to either someone coming and going and taking them or doing something with evidence. I just don't understand. But again, the wheels of justice move slow.
We've, you know, it's part of our investigation, and we'll continue on with that.
So you're not saying that it's not relevant?
Obviously, it's something that happened in the area the morning that the 2 kids went missing. We have to consider that a relevant thing to follow.
So he's saying it happened. I wonder if they have any type of video evidence.
Follow up with and look into, but I'm not suggesting that's creating us to consider criminal action or anything like that.
As we approach the 1-year mark, is there any sense that this could become a cold case at this point?
I can't really comment on that. The information and investigative work will dictate that. As far as I'm concerned, it's not going to be a cold case. This is a case that needs to be solved. So we will pursue every avenue available to us to ascertain what happened with Jack and Lilly.
I think they're just moving slowly and gathering evidence, folks. And we see the very pointed evidence that they've given at Daniel, to Daniel. They keep him talking. He told us he talked to them 2-3 times a week. There's some strategy that they're doing. There's some reason that he was arrested, even though it wasn't connection to this. I believe they're absolutely building a case, and they have much more than we think.
So as of right now, it remains very active.
Very active.
Very active.
Do you think this will be solved in the near future?
I hesitate to put any timelines because, as I said, this is a large investigation, and as you've identified, there's a lot to it. It's not an everyday kind of file that's fairly simple and straightforward. So I hate to put a timeline on it, but I believe that with hard work and the work we're doing and the information we gather, we will
Right.
find out what happened with Jack and Lilly.
All right. I was thinking that too, guys. I was like, oh my goodness, they're just asking the wrong question.
I believe that with hard work.
All right, we're done with this guy. We didn't hear a lot, but here's two new. We're going to start with this one first because it's the one that I don't think anybody's even seen. I didn't even know this one existed. CBC News came out with this 2 days ago, and 9 months after Jack and Lily went missing, they're vanished. It appears they're no closer, but we've got friends of Malaya speaking out for her about the disappearance. And then we're going to get to the next clip and they're going to talk even more. All right. So if you've seen this, put a 1 in chat. If you have not seen this, put a 2, please.
Right. Was this some of the stuff that you guys had been like washing when you got it, or?
We didn't get to this stuff because it just became too overwhelming.
Okay.
But this was some of Jack and Lily's belongings from Lansdowne.
Blankets once cherished by 6-year-old Lily and 5-year-old Jack Sullivan, now reminders.
It was one of her favorite blankets.
Okay, yeah, it's got the cherries on it.
Every blanket she had was her favorite, especially if it was pink.
So this one's loud enough. I just want to make sure it's not too loud. Yeah, this is the interview that most people did not see. And then we're going to go to the other interview that you might have seen, but the one that somebody was referring to earlier. All right, Maggie says, are those new glasses you're wearing? No, they're not. Look at who just rolled in. Deception Detectives in the house, y'all. Hit that like button and drop a comment for him. Let him know that we're dedicated Deception Detective fans, all right? Thank you for popping by, my friend. Yes, Deception Detective just said Jen Soto 2.0. I'll leave that up there as her friends speak on her behalf. Why isn't Malaya there? Oh, wait, because Jen Soto 2.0 would mean a lazy piece of trash potato that doesn't take care of her children, doesn't protect them. Okay.
Cheryl Robinson and Angeline Maloney Arsenault are both close with the children's mother. They've spent the last 9 months doing their best to offer support since Jack and Lily disappeared, a mystery that remains unsolved despite months of searches.
Happy kids. Very happy kids. Always excited. They love their mom. They love their grandmother, and they loved each other. They fought, but they loved each other.
What was Lily like?
Very girly. She got excited easily. Loved her dolls. She was just very outgoing and cutest little thing. Jack loves his dinosaurs. Loved to play with his toys. Jack was more quieter. He was on the quieter side.
The story of Jack and Lily Sullivan has captured international.
So we finally get to hear more about the actual children and not just watching Daniel be on a screen and talk about nothing, because really what he talks about is nothing. He's not telling us anything that we want to know. Deception Detective says, since I'll go to CrimeCon if John Ramsey lets me interview him. He's probably going to be at CrimeCon, DD. Let's get an interview for you. We'll be there.
Attention and continues to gain traction online with true crime channels trying to make sense of the case. It all started on May 2nd when both kids seemingly vanished. At their home in Lansdowne, Nova Scotia, early that morning, the children's mother, stepfather, and his mom all say they heard the kids playing as they dipped in and out of sleep. When they awoke to silence, they all ran outside, and at 10 o'clock, their mother called 911.
The 6-year-old is the girl, I believe, and she's wearing pink. The 4-year-old is wearing some blue dinosaur boots. So, yeah, I think that's all we kind of have right now.
I just happened to scroll Facebook and I saw the post from the RCMP that Lily and Jack were missing. And we decided we would go over and help look for them.
My coworker at lunchtime, she brought it up and she started reading like the whole thing out loud. And when she said the 2 names, I was like, hold on, like, wait a minute. And I just grabbed.
And again, why are we having Malaya's friends that have been hanging out with her for the last 9 months speaking for her? Is it because she doesn't want to be seen on camera? She doesn't want her face to be seen. She's too guilty. She doesn't want she doesn't want to have the leakage. What is it? I don't give a fuck how stressed you are. Mother would show her face more than twice with this big case. She wasn't even out there searching B12. What's up? My pastor calls me Mish. All right, let's keep going. This is a good interview, and there's more.
Grabbed my phone and called Malaya, and I was like, "Are your kids missing?" And she said yes, and she was very upset.
How would you describe the scene that day?
Chaotic. It was very chaotic. It was very stressful.
RCMP teams and hundreds of search and rescue volunteers descended on the property, presuming that Jack and Lilly wandered into the nearby woods. But Robinson says right away, things didn't feel right.
We had asked for an Amber Alert a few hours after the kids had went missing, and we were told that it didn't meet the criteria because apparently you have to have like a suspect or reason to believe that they could have.
And I don't know why they're still hung up on that. I mean, I agree that they could have, they could have said, you know what, we don't have a license plate and the children aren't around. They could have done an Amber Alert, certainly, but there's a reason for that, guys. We heard the information that was initially released by those two people, Malaya and Daniel, and it was nothing. They gave us nothing, and their story changed multiple times, right? Exactly. You would plead for your children, right? Yeah, just speculating. Everything is, in my opinion, on my channel with my commentary for entertainment purposes only.
Been abducted. So that was pretty disappointing.
Ground search and rescue people.
Staff Sergeant Rob McCamon is with the Nova Scotia RCMP Major Crime Unit.
We didn't have the necessary pre-qualifiers to issue an Amber Alert. However, we did issue vulnerable persons alerts related to the disappearance of Jack and Lilly.
Thank you.
With little information from police, rumors have been swirling about potential suspects and whether their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, or their stepfather, Daniel Martel, had anything to do with it. Both deny knowing what happened.
I wouldn't say anybody's a suspect. Again, we continue to gather information and whatever evidence that we are able to find, and we'll make our decisions based on that. But I'm not in a position to really comment on suspects or anything like that at this time.
RCMP did charge Martel on January 29th with assault, sexual assault,
There you
forcible
go.
confinement.
There you go, guys. And many people are speculating it was because of Malaya. All right. Because of Malaya and her report and what was released and what they just moved slow. Now, yeah, exactly, Maggie. That's what they keep harping on, but you need to at least have a vehicle, a silhouette of a person. There's so many things that are criteria for an Amber Alert, and we've gone over all that, right? There's 20 something videos in my playlist, and me too. I agree. Now listen, Jody Lynn and the whole crime crew, I mean, things were coming to before Jack and Lilly went missing. Inside the home was cluttered, as we saw, and disorderly. Outside there was chaos, and people are saying that with dozens of police and searchers piecing things together, something felt off. The family felt off. The mood felt different. Quote unquote, there was a lot of controversy, a lot of family issues, a lot of the family dynamics, a friend says. She's saying at that time she knew that it felt awkward and things were weird, but now they believe it's foreshadowing the fallout between the two families. The next day, the friends talking about an argument that broke out in the driveway of the home, where Daniel Martel told CBC News that the members of Malaya's family discovered he had used drugs in the past, meth and cocaine, and they all started screaming. So Daniel Martel's telling us himself, and when he says he literally says that meth and cocaine comes out of his own mouth, right? I put this link up because that's exactly what he said. So we now absolutely know. All right. Janie's overly excited demeanor tells she's expecting Daniel to do something horrible. Yeah, Linda. All right, let's keep going. And they were having money issues too. All right. So they got into a big fight because of the rug issues, right? And then May 2nd comes along, the children go missing. May 3rd comes, and we've got a huge search going on and people looking into their lives closely.
Relayed it to an adult complainant. He did not respond to our request for comment on the charges. But in early January, he sat down for an interview. At the time, Martel said he believed the RCMP did not consider him a suspect in the children's disappearance, pointing to the results of a polygraph test he took last spring.
All the questions were on death, right? So they...
Again, this is just another portion of the interview. We didn't play it all earlier, so we're going to watch this and then we're going to go to back to the friends, because the friends have a lot to say, guys.
It concluded that by the end of it, I was truthful with all my questions or all my answers. So I didn't have anything to do with the murder of Lilly and Jack.
And he also, if you look at his body language, he says, I didn't have anything to do with the murder of Lilly and Jack. He's shaking his head up and down and he closes his eyes. Notice that. Every time she asks him a question, especially when all of them are hard, he closes his eyes when he answers. Like when that happens, it means they're searching for an answer, right? You don't need to search for an answer if you're telling the truth.
There was no questions on the disappearance or abduction or kidnapping or anything of that nature.
And so you mentioned that in the polygraph, they didn't ask you about the disappearance and whether you had anything to do with it. But I'm going to ask, did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lilly?
No.
Did you kill them?
No.
Yeah, true.
For a year and a half, Martel and Brooks Murray lived together in this home with Jack, Lilly, and their baby daughter. According to court documents, in the weeks before the children were reported missing, the couple had been fighting about money.
I don't really want to talk on that because I don't really want to talk on too much to do with Malay.
And you know why he doesn't want to talk on the stuff to do with Malay? Because he knew about the accusations at the time. All right, let me see that again, please. I'm not sure which one you wanted to see again is my problem, Cool and Chris. In my opinion, I think she's just as guilty with substance addiction. When things fall out, fingers get pointy. I do too. I absolutely believe that she was also using the same substances that Daniel was. And when she left, she probably got clean, but I can't say that. I know she doesn't have her daughter. That's what I do know. All right. Let's keep going. She does not have the daughter. Neither one of them do. Sorry, Cool and Chris. A lot of times people are at a different spot or behind in chat, so I don't know what to go back to.
Yeah, it's best that we don't.
Thank you.
Cheryl Robinson says the day the children went missing was the first time she saw where Brooks Murray and the children had been living. She was shocked.
Just the condition of the house. I mean, I know that not everybody has a fancy house, not everybody is rich, but there's things that you can do to improve your...
Like sweep the floor and maybe don't duct tape your countertops to each other when you have children in the house. All right, let's hear. We got more.
Living conditions.
A lot of the speculation has been, why did Malay and her family leave and not come back?
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say about why that decision was made?
I know that her behavior to a lot of people may seem odd, may seem different, and it may not be what a lot of people would do if their two kids were missing. But until you're in that situation, you really don't know how you...
And that's been a big excuse up until this point with Malaya. RCMP is leaving Daniel so Daniel doesn't stop talking or leave the area or possibly start acting unpredictable. I believe that that's part of it, Kitty Hawk, but they arrested him at this point in order to get him to stay still, even if he talks or not. I believe that it's a push forward in this case. All right. I don't think it's just a coincidence that they arrested him right now for these particular things. We're talking about like forcibly holding someone. We're talking about sexually assaulting someone. He literally has charges facing up to 25 years.
would act
For Martel, the online speculation has focused on his drug use. He admits he used meth and cocaine in the past, but says
hey.
not now.
In terms of the drug use, what would you like to share, just to clear the air?
I did not have any drugs. People thought I was doing drugs during the search.
Yeah, right. And then again, he closes his eyes. You're telling me you weren't doing drugs during the search? Come on, buddy. There was duct tape on that countertop. Just saying. I'm all for duct tape, but come on now. Yeah, it's not a coincidence. I believe it's an absolute push forward. All right, in the case.
Absolutely not. I don't owe any drug dealers money. I don't owe anyone drugs. I'm not a drug dealer. I don't manufacture drugs.
8.5 square kilometers of dense, rugged terrain has been thoroughly searched with little evidence. The RCMP says it doesn't have reasonable grounds to believe it's criminal. The case remains an active investigation under the Missing Persons Act.
At this point, do you think those children are still in the woods?
I think the chances are low. However, there's always that possibility that.
But I want to know what's going to take it to the next level to make it a criminal investigation. He's clearly saying that it is. You don't believe she did it and he helped cover it because he'd already thrown her under the bus so he could take Meadow. Yeah, I do think that they both had something to do with it, or she would have already thrown him under the bus. That's what I think. Yeah, worst case scenario, 25 to life. I added that up and I'm like, damn, they really want him. And think about it. He tries to play Mr. Nice Guy with law enforcement. He told us 2 or 3 times a week he was talking to them, and the way he talks about them is like he's buddy. And happy Friday, everyone. Good to see you. Hit that like button. Say a prayer for Jack and Lily that they get brought home. All right. We really want them, obviously, to be brought home. We need justice. Who did it? What happened? I think it's coming. All right. What's up, Patty? Good to see you. Been out of commission for a while. Moving back. Glad to be back. Glad to have you back. We already heard what he said, that he doesn't think they're coming home. And we've got a whole separate interview from these ladies.
Their time period.
Maloney Arsenault has taken the role of online detective in the group, constantly chasing new details and theories.
Kind of like a second job, maybe, in a way.
Why do you do it?
To try to find them and see if we can.
Well, because Malaya's not doing it. Somebody's got to, right? What is Malaya doing? She doesn't have the baby and she doesn't have the children, and she's not actively looking, talking. She's not present at all. What does that mean? Silence does speak volumes, guys. But then you've got somebody like Daniel Martel that won't shut up.
Bring them home. It's just hard.
Everyone close to the case has the same goal: to find Lilly and Jack.
As far as I'm concerned, it's not going to be a cold case. This is a case that needs to be solved. So we will pursue every avenue available to us today.
Oh, they're so cute, little kids. They loved each other. Look at a little pink backpack and smiling all cute. But I still don't see like real happy children. I see her mom saying smile, and I don't know. They don't see, it doesn't seem like a real happy to me. All right, now we've got the 2 friends here, and the 2 friends are going to bring us back. This is a totally separate interview. I had no idea that the both existed. I was like, wait a minute, do I play one, the other, or what? Friends of the missing children's mom. They don't even put Malaya. Friends of Malaya Brooks Murray, the mother of Jack and Lily, described life before the disappearance. So whole separate interview. Let's go. Malaya's actually in the thumbnail of the picture, but she's not there and she's not saying anything. They're speaking for her. She's probably eating pub sub somewhere. Krista says, my first thought was he was all drummed up and he was convinced that he himself did something. Guilty, innocent, I don't know. Well, bottom line is we want justice for Jack and Lily and 2 children not even one, just goes missing. You don't walk outside and then disappear. Somebody knows what happened to them, just like they do with Sebastian Rogers. All right. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, you guys did. That's why I brought that to you, because everything just re-released or came out today or yesterday, I should say.
How's she doing?
She's just trying to take it day by day.
So, Angeline, you've been friends with Malaya since childhood.
Yep.
And Cheryl, you're a friend, but also very close family as
Yeah.
well. Can you walk me through May 2nd when you learned they were missing?
I learned on a Facebook post. Me, my sister, and my friend were fishing, and I just happened to scroll Facebook.
Yeah, this is awesome. It's going to get detailed into it, what we saw earlier, but they're not going to show the blanket that's unpacked, etc. Jade, I think you might have said it in someone earlier about her being in rehab. I don't think she's in any kind of rehab. I think we would know if she was. I think that we would get a report on it, and they're going to talk about this, but I don't think that she's on having mental health or unaliving issues at all. I feel like she's living her best life right now, and she's staying out of the spotlight. Daniel and his wife know exactly what happened to those poor kids. Prayers for Jack and Lily. I agree. All right, let's continue.
I saw the post from the RCMP that Lily and Jack were missing, and we decided we would go over and help look for them. Before we got there, we thought that they would have been found. You know, these situations are usually resolved quickly.
How would you describe the scene that day?
Chaotic. It was very chaotic. It was busy. A lot of people.
All right, guys, I'm not going to stop too much unless something's like really out there. I want you guys to hear what they're saying. She was in a hospital for mental health before, but we can't get records, so I don't know what she's doing now. You guys do me a favor and make sure that your gifting memberships are on. I'm going to gift some memberships, and we've only got a few towards the goal. If anyone wants to match me at gifting membership, super chat, super sticker to help get to the goal, that would be awesome. I appreciate it. Little man, cousin Bo, good to see you. 198 likes. Hit that like button. Get your friends to back you up, I see, right? And speak for her, right? 2 kids don't just vanish. All right, I'm going to gift some memberships, folks. Make sure you have your memberships on.
A lot of people, neighbors, friends, all kinds of different search and rescue. It was very stressful.
And that was your first time there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you walk me through when you learned about their disappearance? Where were you?
I was at work when I learned about it. The notification popped up on my phone. I don't think I looked at it right away because I didn't look too deep into it. But then my coworker at lunchtime, she brought it up and she started reading like the whole thing out loud. And when she said the 2 names, I was like, hold on, like, wait a minute. And I just grabbed my phone and called Malaya. And I was like, are your kids missing? And she said yes. And she was very upset. Like you could tell through the phone that she had been crying about it.
Yeah. And you were working. Did you go there that day?
And I hope somebody that wanted or needed memberships got them. I just gifted 5 Guilty of Crime members, and Dog Lover matched me with a $20 super sticker. Thank you. Mwah, Dog Lover. I wish I had my dogs in here. I fed them, and I think they went to sleep. They usually sit at my feet during the office. When I'm in the office, I've got 3 little dogs, and they all just go around my feet. And sometimes Wes just sits there farting at me. So I'm kind of glad he's not there. Cool and Chris, let's get to that goal, baby. I like your enthusiasm. Let's go. Yes, Malaya goes into a mental hospital for counseling and therapy, and Daniel's arrested almost immediately thereafter. Exactly. There's a push. There's a push in the case that's happening right now. I'm telling you, because I know. All right. What sort of friend talks her into leaving instead of telling her to stay to look for her children? What happens if they come back? What happened to the older lady that's missing? Nothing yet. Law enforcement still thinks Nancy Guthrie is alive. They believe that she's alive. There was an arrest in the case that was related to the family, but it had nothing to actually do that we know of. I hope you get one too. All right, little cousin Bo. I'm Ryan. The 395 is my main channel for gaming and other topics. Well, welcome. Feel free to drop your link. I don't know what your link is. Rochelle, never caught your live. Well, welcome. We're live right now, Rochelle. Good to see you. Happy Friday. And girl, Debbie just gifted 5 more memberships. We're lighting the chat up with green today, my friends. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's the case that we covered the other night. Nancy Guthrie. I know I can't believe I caught live. Children belong to God. I agree. And welcome to the Crime Crew family. Again, thank Debbie if you received a membership from her. And Krista says, whoop, whoop. We need to get you a membership. All right. We need to get you a membership, Krista. You're always supporting the channel. We got to get you a membership. All right, let's keep going. It's good to hear these things because we are not hearing from Malaya.
I didn't that day, no.
And Cheryl, I mean, for you, you were there. How was she doing that day?
There was a lot of ups and downs. I think herself, she thought that the kids were going to be found and that it was going to be resolved fairly quickly. And I don't think it really set in until later that night that, something wasn't right.
And so the blanket that was found, were you there when that was found?
I wasn't there when the blanket was found, but I was taken to where the blanket was found. And it was still in the tree at that point when we had walked up.
You hear that? She's the actual one that saw the blanket in the tree. We never knew this. We haven't heard any of this. So the big news, Vance, is that we're getting a push in the investigation. And I believe with Daniel being arrested for the charges that he was charged with last week, and then the new interview that we're listening to now just came out. All right. Where do I go turn on a free membership? Well, you got gifted a membership, girl. Sue, you have one. And if you want to, you already got one. There you go. All right, let's keep going.
Can you walk me through that? What was a blanket? What was the deal there?
It was just a piece of Lily's blanket. I guess it was used to cover a hole that was in like the window or door where cold air was coming in. And the piece that was in the blanket was hung over the back railing, and the other piece was thrown out after they were done using it. I think late spring, and then it was found in the tree a couple kilometers up the road.
What did you think about that?
I found it odd, very odd.
See, now do you guys think that was placed there? She's not even an armchair detective or a sleuth, but she finds it odd that it was there. And why is it that she found it and other people didn't? Did he put it there after? Did Malaya put it there after? And Corbin would like to get a membership. If you would drop the link for Corbin, that'd be awesome. Cool, and Chris is going to gift a membership. So if you wait a little bit, you might get one. No one's putting a coat in a tree. Shady. Exactly. All right. Let's keep going. So many blessings in this chat. Well, thank you. We try. All right. This is interesting. Again, I've never seen this or heard this. It just came out, and I said, I got to get this to you guys.
Go from the house to the tree.
I'll ask about the boot print. So, Angeline, you've been fixated on this case and know the details. What do you make of the boot print that matches Lily's foot size and boot print?
It was a clump of them. It wasn't like a trail leading up to like a set of footprints walking up anywheres. It was a clump.
Oh, so it was multiple footprints, not just one?
Did you?
Oh, okay.
Damn.
What's your impression of that, Cheryl?
See, I totally thought that's what we've always heard, just one little boot print and a piece of blanket, right? I didn't realize she was the one that found the blanket at all. I've been covering so many cases, some of the details get missed like that.
Kind of the same as Angeline. When you find a cluster of footprints just in the middle of the road, you're kind of looking around, wondering where the other footprints leading up to this cluster is, and there wasn't any.
And so these things, the blanket, the boot print, seem odd to you both.
Yeah.
So in terms of the RCMP investigation,
get a
Megan, I'll
distraction.
start with you. What's your take on where that stands?
It's been slow. I don't know why it's been
Okay.
slow. Like, I don't know if it's because of the
I
lack
know,
of
right?
evidence they might have, or if it's just because it's like a really peculiar case. I'm sure that's part of it. I'm just wondering that if they were able to step back and look at it from like maybe more of an abduction, like something more criminal, if they would make any more headway than what they.
And again, that's what they need to do at this point, is turn this case into a criminal investigation. Even Daniel said that when they asked him in the extended interview about the case. He said, yeah, this needs to be looked at as a criminal case. She's saying that, and I didn't know she was the one that took a picture of the blanket in the tree, but something I'm just not buying. All right. I didn't see how they're keeping a missing person versus a criminal because they can get more info. I mean, I guess, but I also feel like they can have more resources if they call it criminal. I think they're switching to that. I absolutely believe that Daniel's arrest is not coincidental, guys. It has something to do with this case. Now they know that he's not the stepfather that he makes himself to be. We know he's abusive, allegedly.
Have by viewing it as a missing persons case.
Do you believe it's criminal?
Hey,
I think it's a possibility, and I do think that they should look into it so that it can be ruled completely off the table.
How would you describe the mood?
Oh, wow.
It was
Of course he's
different.
going to say
It
that.
was kind of odd, I guess. For the situation, I didn't really know what to expect. It was different.
How was it odd?
A lot of controversy, a lot of family issues, a lot of family dynamics. Like I said, it was my first time over there. Never met anybody over there. Just didn't feel very welcoming.
Do you want to speak to why you hadn't been over there?
Right.
Kind of lost touch with Malaya after.
Now, you're 110% correct in vision. Just because you're an abusive asshole doesn't make you a murderer of children. However, Daniel has been lying to the entire world about who he is. Okay. When you get charges like that, and Malaya with her accusations, and he's playing the stepfather of the year award, saying he's the only one out doing anything. But then you hear from Malaya and others that he had no problem backhanding the kids, bruises, busted lips. That makes a whole different story. It's wild how she had not been in public eye, Jay. Of course I would. I would be all over it because you're the person that would be leading the searches, in my opinion. There's no way you would keep me away. And I certainly wouldn't move away from where the children might come back to. Children belong to God says, when I have to go to the dentist, I put earphones and crank up the music. Yes, it helps a bunch. Whoever's at the dentist, just turn it up and tune it out. All right. What's up, the Jab? Good to see you. Patterns don't lie. Sometimes the simplest answer. I love this person, the real Norbeaster. That's my motto. Sometimes, and most of the time, the simplest answer is the answer. All right. Occam's razor, right? All right.
She had moved over there. And I feel bad about not keeping in touch with her, but I didn't know how else to get a hold of her.
What were you surprised about?
Nobody
when you
does.
got there.
The conditions that the kids were living in, things that we had learned through looking for the kids.
A lot of the speculation has been, why did Malaya and her family leave and not come back?
Mm-hmm.
Anything you'd like to say about why that decision was made?
She had left because we weren't leaving her there.
What concerned you the most?
Just the condition of the house. I mean,
wow.
I know that not everybody has a fancy house. Not everybody is rich, but there's things that you can do to improve your living conditions. Yeah. Because she never grew up that way. Her mom always.
Well, listen, here's the thing, Rochelle. She's the mother. I'm a mother of two. I'm the protector. of my children, right? My children have two mothers and we're both the protectors. My whole point is if Malaya was letting him hit the children and bruise them and they look malnourished, then she's just as culpable because she didn't protect them. Right? When you see enough, when you see enough of the cases, it becomes verbatim 110%. And Occam's razor is one of those ideas that people throw around casually. But guys, when you apply it correctly, it really is a powerful filter, especially in the Jack and Lilly case. When something gets confusing or emotionally charged, like in this case, that's what Occam's razor is. Occam's razor isn't necessarily the simplest explanation is always true, but it is a method that you can apply to a case like this where the simplest answer probably is the truth. All right. If you apply Occam's razor to Jack and Lilly, it says we're not stripping away facts in this case. Here's what we know. 2 young children vanished overnight from a rural area. All right. No confirmed sightings, no confirmed abductions, indicators, vehicles, no forced entry, no bodies, no clothing, no trace beyond early blankets and boot findings. RCMP has named no suspects, and they've also not declared it as a crime. But major crime is involved. All right. The search was extremely dense, difficult terrain, rural area. If they had just wandered off, they would have wandered off, maybe fell asleep and noticed or laid down. They both were together. How did search teams miss 2 of them? Also, if they were abducted by a stranger, you think a stranger targeted a remote area that's hard to access and then took not 1 child, but 2 that supposedly have autism? The assumption is very high that didn't happen, and it's very weak. All right, let's keep going.
Always had a nice clean house, and her grandmother always had a nice clean house too, and that's how she was. That's what she was.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm very familiar with her too. Like I'd be going over and she'd be like in the middle of like cleaning or doing some type of like chore for the day.
Nope, they don't.
And so how are you supporting her now through this?
She has been here pretty much every day since the kids went missing.
Pretty much every day.
Try to help her and guide her in the right direction and give her the.
I still wonder why she's not talking herself. She didn't even give a statement, which is odd. It's like, is she going to use that excuse that it's too emotional to talk about? Because I haven't seen that at all whatsoever. Dog Lover says, I hope this helps you. It will. Thank you so much. Instead of buy me a coffee, it's going to be buy me a Red Bull. And I'm out. You know how expensive Red Bulls are now? You go to the store and just grab one at 7-Eleven. That thing's like $5. What's up with the prices, man? Anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. All right, let's keep going.
Hope that the kids will be found.
Yeah, that's the support that she needs to like navigate it, either like emotionally or just us being there, like talking about what she could do and like how it might be like a benefit.
Yeah.
How is she doing?
Not great. I've noticed a significant decrease in her weight since the kids have gone missing. She's just trying to take it day by day.
I wonder what it is she's doing each day by day. All right. Now I agree. She was bought a car. They had a U-Haul waiting for her, but I don't think Daniel talked her out of it necessarily. I think that she was also hooked on drugs with Daniel. Usually, when one person in a couple is an alcoholic or a mathematician or whatever, the other one also is in an active addiction. Okay, so I think her active addiction probably caused her to not want to leave, because when you're in that addiction, you don't know what you're going to do when you run out of it. How you going to get it again? If you don't, you'll go through withdrawals, etc. All right. So many mothers with mental issues have unalived their children. She doesn't look good running to a mental health facility. It raises flags. So did she? Yeah, we can't know if she actually went to one unless they tell us because, right? You can't get medical information. That's it. There's a law.
And so, how did the rest of that week go?
It was hard, especially the 6th day when they scaled back the search and gave the briefing that they did. It was hard to hear that, but we never gave up the hope of finding them. And
Yeah.
we still don't.
And I understand there was a request for an Amber Alert.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
We had asked for an Amber Alert a few hours after the kids had went missing, and we were told that they were working on it. So they had to send it to their supervisor, whoever deals with the Amber Alerts.
Yep.
And it come back saying that it didn't meet the criteria because apparently you have to have like a suspect or reason to believe that they could have been abducted. So all we got was a vulnerable missing person alert, and it only went to Pictou County, Antigonish, and Truro, I believe. So it didn't even go like Nova Scotia wide, just those 3 areas. So that was pretty disappointing.
So you were told there would be an Amber Alert coming?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They said they were like we'd ask them every hour, and a lady would tell us that they were working on it.
Wow.
And and then we never got one. We were disappointed, but it also gave us reason to think that they thought they were in the woods and that they were going to be found and that nobody took them.
Mabster's in the house. Happy Friday, buddy. Welcome. Teresa says, why doesn't the mother grow up and defend herself? That's a good question, but another question is, why doesn't she go and get her baby? They're not giving her the baby. Why aren't they giving her the baby? And why don't we know that? Right. You got to have proof of kidnapping, which didn't happen. And yes, she fled the scene. Yeah, haul up your big girl panties, Malaya. You was fast enough to haul them down. That was a good one. Good one, Teresa. If you can pull them panties down, you can certainly pull them up.
And you've both been out there. We met at the volunteer search back in November. What were your impressions going back to the scene then?
I almost felt sick. We were hoping that we would be able to find them to have some type of closure to the case. But being out there gave us a little more insight of the area where it wasn't as busy that day as it was on May 2nd. So we were able to really look around and get a feel for, what the woods was really like.
And so leaving there, what did you feel?
No way.
We felt a lot of disappointment, but also a lot of relief. We didn't find them, so it gave us hope that
they were still alive. But guys, it's been 9 months and 4 days. And Mab, do you do a show every day at 1:00 Pacific Standard Time? Let me know. I'm not getting notifications for your lives. And plus, people in chat seem to love the Mabster. If you want to let us know in chat when you go live, that'd be awesome. I'd love to join if it's a certain time every day.
Still okay.
Did you leave there with the impression they weren't in the woods?
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you go through the woods with the lens of 2 little children navigating that and whether that would be possible?
We did, like the cliffs and the hills and the water and the amount of times that we had fallen. A number of us fell. There was a few injuries.
Well, what about Malaya? We're hearing about these people. They're out there getting injured and they're making excuses for her.
Through different teams. Yeah, it's hard to think that they could have navigated any further than a kilometer, really.
And so now that we're more than 8 months into this case, how is everyone?
9 months and 4 days, but this was just released 2 days ago. So
one doing with this?
It seems like it gets worse.
Yes, they are.
Frustration comes to mind, especially when you sit there and you kind of feel like your hands are tied, and how much that you can do. Like, how many times can you go out in search of woods? You feel limited on the types of things that you can do.
What keeps you up at night?
I feel like it's just trying to piece together like what happened, because if maybe you could figure that out, then like you would know where they might be. But it's just the not knowing.
Thank you.
We don't really have any direction, so we're not sure which way to go. There's a lot of
This way.
components to this case, and you worry about if you're missing something, or if you know something that's, you know, little that could matter.
What's not adding up for you?
Right.
Case.
Anything in particular?
True.
The different stories we've heard over the last several months, you know.
And yeah, if you drop the link, I can't see on my end everything coming through, but any of the mods want to drop Mr. Mab's link, he randomly goes live, and I'm gonna find him one day and interrupt his live. Just kidding, but I am gonna get on there and chat with you once I know. So there it is, YouTube at mab.investigates. Go sub to him. He's a great guy, and I want to see more of his content.
If you don't know what happened, then there shouldn't be any stories. It should be, I don't know. And yeah, it's very frustrating when you have so many different people telling so many different stories. It makes it hard to figure out what really happened.
Right?
Let's dive into that. So stories are being shared, lots of speculation online.
Now, listen, we're all speculating right now. We've been speculating. That's all we can do. RCMP hasn't given us much. And Kitty Hawk, that's another thing. They never mentioned the weather. And why would they mention if they had coats on or not? Because they didn't know anything. Remember when a crime occurs or something happens and the suspects don't remember anything? They remember before. They don't know anything during, and after they have no idea. There's just things that they're blocking out. It's like, oh yeah, we went to bed at 9 o'clock the night before. The kids were sleeping. We didn't wake up till 12 hours later and they were gone. And that dang door, we saw that dang door. It wasn't quiet like she said. It was a regular door. Yeah, all they knew were boots, pull-ups, and backpack. So they said.
And particularly YouTube shows.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What's that been like?
The internet can be a great thing, but it also can be a really terrible thing. We have met some really great people through this whole tragedy, and we've also met some really mean, nasty people. There's a lot of speculation.
Like the guy with the big nose and the mustache and more. You're right. That would be an injustice for Jack and Lilly if RCMP was to label this as a kidnapping. All right. Because there's nowhere to say that they were kidnapped. Nobody can say that. The closest thing that we get to even an explanation are the two neighbors that saw cars going in and out that night. And they're not talking much about that either. All right, the real Norbeaster. Did you know he was arrested down here for forced confinement? Yes, definitely. We've got that right here, my friend, the real Norbeaster. We covered that a couple days ago. All right, back to it.
A lot of theories, a lot of blame. Yeah, it's been really hard.
It's definitely toxic is the word to use, and frustrating. It can take away from the main point of the case.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at the end of the day, I guess you don't know what little thing might come up on there that could actually benefit it.
How has it affected your life?
Probably in the fact that it's can be time consuming.
I've had people post my address online. I've had people sit across the road, take pictures of my house. Just a lot of nasty things. In the beginning, a lot of people blamed us for having the kids. A lot of people don't know the dynamics around the situation and know that we didn't speak to Malaya for almost 2 years prior to the kids going missing. We didn't know where she lived.
Yeah, I know everyone's talking about the Guthrie case. It's on every single channel right now. They're all over the place. Carly just sent me something as well that shows FBI agents are removing a mounted wired device from the side of Nancy's home. You can see Fox News covered a female agent climbing on top of the roof using a ladder, trying to detach a wired object. So that could be a big deal. There's a small solar panel that can be seen nearby and a mounted camera or device on the roof. So FBI is all over Guthrie's, and they made a statement today that said that they think she's still alive. So I don't know. That's the Nancy Guthrie thing. Yeah, we saw the sliding door and it had some weight to it. We absolutely saw that in the last episode. What's up, Kalisa? Katz, how you doing? Wonder if there's any way she can still be near the house. Malaya? Anyway, let's keep going.
For you, Angeline, seeing your
Oh.
best friend going through this, what's that like for you?
Nancy, okay.
It's definitely highlighted how seeing how her world has like turned upside down. It's where I look at the social media a lot. It's seeing the lack of like empathy or like the lack of people wanting to be open-minded and understanding and like constantly blame her. I find that's what really bothers me the most. But at the end of the day, like they don't know her. I know her. I'm a stranger to them. Like, how are they going to trust my word?
Probably.
And you have people who turn around and say, well, you think you might know someone. So it feels like a never-ending battle. And she's not a bad person. She's not a bad mom.
She's not a bad mom. Why? What made you say that? I'm pretty sure I didn't hear the newscaster or the interview person ask if she's a bad mom. Are you saying that because people are reaching out to you and saying, "What are you doing? Covering for Malaya? She's not even out there looking for her children. The other ones with the CPS or whatever they call that in Nova Scotia, and the other two just went missing, and you're not there in case maybe they would come back." Oh, unless she knows what happened to him.
I guess if you know Malaya, you would know that that isn't out of the ordinary for her. That's just who she is. She was
Agreed.
always quiet. She was never a confrontational person. She's like very shy. She only likes to talk to certain people. She doesn't like to broadcast herself. She's just, if you know her, then that's just the way she is. And I know that her behavior to a lot of people may seem odd, may seem different, and it may not be what a lot of people would do if their two kids were missing. But until you're in that situation, you really don't know how you would act. A lot of the speculation is towards Malaya, that Malaya knows where the kids are, that she had something to do with their disappearance. Some people have even gone as far as to say that she murdered them, or that they're on the reserve being hidden, which is absolutely insane. If people don't think that the RCMP haven't looked into that after 8 months, it's just beyond me.
And how does the intense?
I know that's a good point. Yes, we've looked at her. We've looked at Malaya's social media several times. She doesn't like to broadcast herself, but have you seen her YouTube channel? Yes, and you all have seen it with me. She goes on there and talks quite a bit about what she likes to do. All right, these types project everything, Jay. Agreed. She must know. She can't not know, right? All they're doing is sticking up for Malaya. I agree, but it says a lot about Malaya.
Spotlight internationally for this case contribute to that?
In some aspect, we think it's good because we want to keep them out there. We want people to see them, especially if somebody did take them and somebody just happens to see them and then sees that they're online, or if Jack and Lily are watching TV themselves and they see somebody and know that, somebody's looking for them.
Somebody, certainly not their mom, because I haven't seen her after the first interview where she looked all sad. We haven't seen her at all, except, we saw a picture of her. She went to the beach. She posted on one of her social media platforms. But if they were watching, the only one that's pleading for anything is Daniel. And every time he talks, it's him defending himself and trying to put it on Malaya. Interesting.
That we're still We're still looking.
Yeah. What would you like the public to know?
We'd like them to know that we're still looking for Jack and Lily, and just because we're not online broadcasting everything that we do doesn't mean that we're sitting behind the scenes not doing anything, because we've done our own searches. We've done posters, we've done, a lot of things behind the scenes, but we don't feel the need to have to tell the internet and the public everything that we're doing to keep their name out there. We're not looking for.
Well, you don't have to do that, but you should at least get Malaya to get off of her ass. I mean, if she's really depressed and withering away and losing weight, why? Why? You know what's the best thing to do when you're stressing out? Anybody? Anybody know what the best thing to do when you're stressing and worried and you can't? You do something. You don't just sit there in your bed and say, I'm so stressed out and upset. You get off your ass, you go get some flyers printed, and you go do your footwork. You do something. All right? You haven't done critical thinking. These people haven't seen Malay in quite some time. They know what kind of mother she actually, they've seen her recently. They've been spending time with her. Yeah, go work out. Move your ass. If you're feeling depressed, get up and do something. Where were the kids when Jack showed up with the black eye? It's infuriating, right? Prayers. Prayers. Whoever needs prayers.
For the attention, we're trying to keep the focus on Jack and Lily.
Yep.
As the 1-year anniversary hovers there, what's the goal going towards that?
To hopefully find them before that. A year is a long time, and it's hard to believe we're almost at that point. It's just, It's hard not knowing. It's hard to think that they possibly could be in the woods and that we may have missed them, or that somebody took them and they could be anywheres after 8 months, or,
9 months and 4 days. Again, this was just released 2 days ago.
the possibility of somebody hurting them. It just, all those things you think about constantly.
Do you ever have a day?
Now remember, they were very concerned with the living conditions, and they were like, this is above Malaya. I can't believe she was even living there and doing this. So how well did they really know her? What if Malaya doesn't know what happened to the kids and she suspects Anna? Well, then she should probably talk to RCMP, and then she should be the face of the campaign. Where are my children? Bring my children home, please. Jack and Lily, I'm your mother. If you're out there, if somebody has you, if you have them, they're good kids, bring them back, no questions asked. We're not getting any of that. All right?
When you think, okay, this must be what happened, or
All
is
the
it
time, yeah.
She's
Does
crying.
that change?
It does, yeah. You always see
Yeah.
something new and you're like, oh, well, maybe this happened. And then you go back to square one, and yeah, we're almost at a dead end, basically.
But when it comes down to it, it's just not adding up.
No.
I wouldn't even be able to sit there and say that about my children. Now, those aren't their children, but when you say that you feel like you're at a dead end, what does that mean?
It didn't from day one.
Cheryl, what's making you tear up right now?
It's just hard.
You try to hold it together.
You would think that they're the moms. What's going on here? Little perps and her friends. That's so funny. She's crying now. Exactly. What? Maggie, major prayers for you, all right? Malaya is an absolute horrible mother as far as I'm concerned. Period. I agree. Let's go.
How much of your day is spent holding it together? I mean, you're there with Malaya constantly.
See, I'm telling you guys, they might not have seen her before, but now they see her constantly. They were probably the people that were at the beach with her. They see her now. Yeah, she sure can't talk on YouTube, right?
Yeah. When I'm at work, I'm okay.
What about Malaya?
keep working to keep some level of normalcy.
Yeah, you have to.
What has this done to the family?
I feel like it's the only thing they think about.
Yeah.
Is when they'll have some kind of good news from the RCMP.
Good
In an
news?
aspect, it's kind of brought everybody closer, and we all have one main focus, and it's to find Lilly and Jack and hopefully find answers as to what happened to them.
Yeah, this interviewer is not the best interviewer at all by any means. All right. And then it just abruptly ends and Daniel walks up. This is the whole video, the extended version. But yeah, the interviewer drives me nuts because I feel like they don't ask the right questions at all. Yep, like KDP, where's your child? Gotta find empathetic people. We're being negative, Tasha? Oh no. Well, have a good one. I don't think we're being negative. I think we're true crime people and we see a mother not doing anything to help her children while this man runs around acting like the children are still alive. But okay, bye. See you later. Right? This is true crime. It's not a fable. Here comes the evil Chucky. All right. Yeah, she searched the beach store, all kinds of places. Yeah, have a good day then. At least Madeline McCann's mother searched and was emotional. I wanted to say, bye, Felicia. Bye. What did we learn? Well, we didn't learn much. We learned that the house was a shithole, but really what we learned was that Malaya has people that are sticking up for her. They're close to her. They've seen her every day, and they kind of gave us an update. Get off social media. You look and act like a fool making a puppet play with these pitiful kids missing. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, we've been here for 2 hours and 20 minutes. All right. I absolutely do not think that Daniel's arrest is or was coincidental at all whatsoever. I think his arrest is going to move this case forward, and hopefully they'll reclassify it as a crime. We don't know what kind of crime. They don't need to say, hey, they're kidnapped, because we don't know that. But we do need to have justice for Jack and Lilly, and they need to be brought home. It's been 9 months and 4 days, and Malaya, as a mom, should be doing more. She's not, and her friends are sticking up for her. So, hey, maybe they know more than we do. Sorry, Mr. Mab. You lost 3 so far? Yeah, someone needs to keep it on the kids. I get the feeling someone took them kids out of a bad situation, probably knew the kids and had no problem. Interesting. Well, if that's the case, then they're probably still alive, and that would be wonderful. I just don't see that happening, unfortunately. All right. I don't think the arrest is related to it's not related to the children, but I believe that they did that because of the case. They're moving forward with the case, and it's not coincidental, but it doesn't have anything to do with those children. I think Mab knows what I mean. They're using it as a tactic to X, Y, and Z, right? Once they get him on the fact that, let's say that he gets prosecuted and he's convicted as a sexual assaulter or rapist, a kidnapper, and whatever else he was charged with, they can use that for the case, and that will be very helpful. Tiff Knox, good to see you. You rolled in at the last minute. Good to see you. We've been here for a while. And Jay shed a light on the case. You get off social media. You troll, right? Thank you. Appreciate it. That's why the mods are here. And I'm not just shining a light on the Jack and Lilly case. This information just came out. And I think it's important that we know, number one, that this case is probably moving forward now, and we're going to start seeing a faster pace in it now that they've got Daniel on those charges. I believe it's absolutely, yes, a tactic and a play. All right. I don't know what y'all are laughing at, but yeah, make him talk. Give him a plea deal. All right. You guys can carry on with whatever you want. You're all good. I'm good. It's Friday, and I'm so happy that it is. All right, let's go, guys. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I do want to share one thing with you before we go, and that is the Ghost platform. So when you guys don't see, when you're looking for cases, or you're looking for something to do, or you're just looking for more news. Hold on. I know I froze again. Let me remove this. And yeah, go sign up for it. It's free, absolutely free. It's guiltyofcrime.ghost.org. I'll put it right here. I'll put the link down there and I'll show you what I'm talking about real quick. Oh, you already did it. Since on top of it. All right. So if you guys want to know more cases, you're sending case requests in, etc. That's where the cases that we can't cover on a daily basis go. And then we pick them back up if we need to. So, like, for instance, this Nathan Smith. Let me see. Did it go? Yeah, this is the son of rapper Lil Jon was reported missing, and this was posted this morning or yesterday. Well, they've now found his body. All right, so this was posted as a missing person case, and today he was found, and they call it no foul play. It's really weird that they say that because they found him in water or like a pond dead. All right, the mother knew he was a druggie. Yeah, I mean, she did know that. All right, so anyway, ghost.org is free to sign up. All it is you get more news. We've got 182 members on here. We've got members that pay for the platform to get extra and ones that are free. So again, I mean, I've been dying to cover this case in more detail. I've covered Keimani Lateef, but there's updates here, right? And on and on and on. And we almost every day there's a post or two. February 4th, there's 3 of them here. We got the autopsy results here, and it will come into your inbox. Right? So you'll get the latest news, and you'll get cases that you did not know existed on Guilty of Crime. So like this one, I don't know if any of you've seen this little girl. She took her own life due to ongoing bullying. 12 years old. All right. And I just didn't have the time to cover it on this platform. All right. So anyway, thank you guys. Vegas or bust. Cool and Chris says Jay has my email. I'll give her permission to give it to you. You want me to give it to Synth? All right, Tiff. Good to see you. Thanks for rolling in. Don't forget to hit that like button. I didn't know true crime was about shits and giggles, right? That's funny. All right. All right, guys. You go ahead. Steal some cases. They all need coverage. All right. The 12-year-old girl, may she rest in peace. All right, guys. Bullying is such a major issue. Yes, Krista, it's a huge issue. And I think law enforcement, parents, teachers, schools just haven't got on top of it yet because the laws need to change. We're now in the era, in the age of online bullying. So you can't just go home from your day after school and be left alone. No. These bullies are going on platforms and making fakes, AI pictures, saying the nastiest shit. It just doesn't stop. And we need to catch up with those times. Law enforcement, FBI, cyber crimes, all of that need to come into play. Midnight Lace, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker or super chat. Mab, hit that go, baby. 10. And then we got Clark. Clark hit the goal. He got 10 and she hit the goal. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. Wow, there's a lot going on in chat. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Deb, I texted you. And yeah, definitely an evil world. All right, y'all. 2 hours and 27 minutes. And I'm out. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. If you need me, guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. If you want to send me a new case, send me cases@gmail.com. Have a blessed weekend as well. Saucy. All right. Midnight Lace, Envision, Teresa, and everybody else that was here today. Appreciate you. And if you're on the rewatch crew, go rewatch. I'll put the playlist for you. All right. Good night. Love you all. Thank you, mods, for helping tonight. We out. Love you all. See you soon. Bye.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?